now, so hopefully you can all see this. My first point of call is, where are the islands? Well, in effect, I say, where are the islands? I'm sure you are all aware that it is the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but obviously I work and my focus is very much on the island of Tobago. That's where the beach resorts are. That's the beautiful island. Trinidad is gorgeous. It's wonderful in itself, but it doesn't have a tourism entity. So that's the reason why the focus is very much on the island of Tobago. So as you can see, we're very, very much at the very bottom of the crest of Caribbean islands. And our location is very important. Being so close to Venezuela and South America has many influences. I will elaborate on those influences as the presentation proceeds, but one highlight is the fact that we actually sit and are regarded as being underneath the hurricane belt. So we don't, on an annual basis, we're not really troubled by the storm systems that come in the summer and autumn every year. So that's a little bit of a bonus. And also, yes, very much under the hurricane belt, but also very, very close to South America. So yes, let me continue and proceed on. So that's our geography. That's where we sit in the beautiful region of the Caribbean. Now, getting there, obviously, at the present moment in time, both the airlines are on hold. But when they do restart, they will both be operating a twice weekly direct service from London Gatwick. The services will stop in Antigua. Currently, the Virgin service stops in St. Lucia, but that will switch over, was scheduled to switch over to Antigua in the summer. So when they return, it will be via Antigua. And also in the summer months, the Virgin service goes down to once a week. But both services are annual and continue throughout the year. So getting there is very, very easy. The island itself, now from tip to point, this point down here is where the airport is, and this area up here is 25 miles. So it's not a large island. At its widest point, it's 7 miles. Okay, so not a huge island, but internally, this whole core of the island in the middle is pristine rainforest. You'll see from some of the images I'll show you later on on the presentation, the majority of the island is green and lush, okay? So key selling point for Tobago. If you remember anything, please remember this particular point. Probably 80% of the hotels, restaurants, bars, the nightlife is predominantly in this southern western area down here. Okay, which basically means when you travel around the island, and there is a road that goes around here, a nice little small little road. When you travel around the island, it is pristine, it is green, it is lush, it is authentic Caribbean and unspoilt. So that is Tobago's key selling point. We're not blessed with stunning, gorgeous 5-star deluxe bling hotels. We don't have any bling hotels. We have some beautiful 4-star, 3-star properties. We've got some lodge on the hillside type accommodation up in Castara, overlooking the bay, so like treehouse type accommodation. We've got beautiful remote hotel, all-inclusive properties around this area here, Bateau Bay. But if you're after the bling, then it's not going to be Tobago. All right. If people want a more authentic experience, a more down-to-earth experience, then Tobago is an option. This northern Caribbean coast is littered with small, pristine bays, beautiful beaches, unspoilt. There's a particular beach here called Englishman's Bay, where there is only a bar on that beach. I'll show you a picture of the beach a little later on. There is only a bar. It's a bar stroke gift shop. And it's on about 2.5 mile stretch of gorgeous, pristine beach. And that is prevalent particularly across this northern Caribbean coast. But don't get me wrong, on this southern Atlantic coast, it's a little bit windier on this side, a little bit windier on this side, but still some gorgeous, gorgeous, unspoiled beaches. That's our key selling point, all right? So if you have clients who want to go to a destination which is a little bit different, which is a little bit less in your face, where where the benefits, the true essence of the island is nature, back to earth, local communities, then Tobago is an option. We are blessed with fantastic dive sites, particularly in this northern area around here. So if you have any clients who are interested in diving, then this is also a fantastic option. And bird watching. We have some fantastic bird watching sites, predominantly in the rainforest, but we have some bird watching sites littered all around the island, so easily accessible. But these sort of niche areas I will elaborate as the presentation proceeds. Key selling point is Tobago is your authentic Caribbean experience. I hope that all makes perfect sense with you all. I shall proceed and continue with the presentation. Now, I've just painted a picture of Tobago being unspoilt and untouched, but we do have the normal water sports and games that you'd normally associate with beautiful beach resorts. We have kite surfing, jet skis, banana boats, all those sort of activities are available and possible here. All right, so yes, we do and we can offer those sort of experiences here. But one thing that we do have, which is a little bit different, it is available in some other destinations, but it is a little bit, I hope you can all see the video coming through here. We have what is called the bioluminescent experience. Now what that is, there's a small little bay called a Bonacord Lagoon, where of an evening, you go out on a stand-up paddleboard or on a kayak. I'd rather do a kayak because I can't stand up on one of those things. And if anyone's experienced it, there are certain people who can stand up straight away and others who regard that as the stand-up wobble board. So that's what I call it. But anyway, you go out into the Bonacord Lagoon, which this little video is showing you here. And then on particular evenings, as you can see, the water lights up as you interact with the bioluminescence. It is incredibly beautiful. It is incredibly special. One of those sort of once in a lifetime experiences, fantastic for people wanting something just a little bit different, a little bit special on a honeymoon, or just that little bit special occasion, just that kind of a special occasion or experience that, you know, you can only experience in very few places in the world. So yes, we have this beautiful bioluminescence experience, which people can experience. I've already pointed out and I explained that we are blessed with some gorgeous, gorgeous beaches. In fact, actually, a lot of people are not aware that Tobago actually has about approximately 5-6 different colored sands around various parts of the island, from that dark Santorini sand to gorgeous pale white powdery sand here. So yes, we are quite fortunate with regards to the island, that you can travel around, particularly in those remote areas I pointed out on the map earlier, where you can find glorious, beautiful, sandy beaches. Now, these 3 images here, these are all my images. These are not souped up or jazzed up pictures. These are all real. This is no man's land. This is exactly what it looks like. It's a small little beach outlet. This is, I've sent you, you should all have access to a link to some PDFs. And one of them is the map that I showed you earlier on. And at the very northern coast of the map is a small little village called Palais-Touvier. This is Palais-Touvier, okay, this image here. There are no hotels here. There's no B&Bs here. There's nothing fancy about this village. This village is atypical to what I was describing earlier with regards to Tobago being unspoilt. You can travel around the island very safely, very easily, get a hire car, get a bike, and visit beautiful, unspoilt villages just like this, where fishermen, every morning, you'll see the fishermen coming in, dragging in their nets, okay, which is called pulling the seine, dragging in their nets, bringing in the daily catch, okay? Just village life, living normally, and you can interact as a tourist with that, okay? This is the Englishman's Bay I was telling you before. Unspoilt with just 1 bar stroke gift shop on it, okay? And this extent of beach flows the other way from this image as well. So incredibly, incredibly beautiful, very, very natural. And then of course, we have other watery attractions. This top image here, the nylon pool. Now this is our swimming pool in the middle of the sea. Okay, and I know that sounds a little bit peculiar, it sounds a little bit unusual. These guys, these people holding up their hands, these are all from a family trip I had a couple of years ago. Now basically the nylon pool is a sandbar. It's an area of water where basically all these guys, all these people in this image here are on their knees. Okay, so that water only comes up to your belly button, only comes up to your waist. Okay, it's not very deep at all. It's our swimming pool in the middle of the sea. And basically legend goes, what you're supposed to do here, the legend goes that the name of the area was given by Princess Margaret, who was on her honeymoon here. And basically, she had a swim and enjoyed this area here, and she described the water as crystal clear as her nylons. Now, I don't wear nylons. I've never ventured into that area in my life before, so I'm not quite sure how that works. But legend goes, what you're supposed to do here is, and I'm sure you guys are well traveled. You've been to places where you interact with the sand, and it's powdery soft sand. Now, what you're supposed to do here, the sand underneath where all these people are standing here is powdery soft. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to rub the sand all over your skin, all over your arms, your legs, your face, what have you. And what's supposed to happen, once you wash it off, you come out 10 years younger. I'll let that sink in for a few seconds there. Now, isn't that just the perfect place for you to visit, just to get a few years off those, a few wrinkle lines off those faces? That's the legend. You know, normally I would show you other elements, but that's the legend for the nylon pool. Incredibly beautiful, a wonderful area here, crystal clear waters, the nylon pool. And then, of course, we have, if any of you were eagle-eyed when looking at the map I showed you earlier, you would have noticed, and one thing I should have pointed out was the number of gorgeous but remote waterfalls in Tobago. Now, this is our most famous waterfall. This is a three-tiered waterfall called Argyle Falls. Now, underneath each tier, there's actually a pool where you can actually take a dip and take a swim. Incredibly crystal clear. Again, very, very, very refreshing. That's a sly way of saying cold, but very, very refreshing. Okay, it's about a 15-minute walk into the rainforest, and then you come upon this this stunning falls. These stunning falls. So yes, a gorgeous, natural. Both of these attractions are natural experiences in Tobago, water orientated, but very, very natural. And then we move on. Now, remember at the very beginning when I told you about the geography of the island and our location being so close to South America, having multiple effects and benefits for us? Well, this is one of those effects. And this is one of those benefits, I beg your pardon, the underwater world. Being so close to South America and being so close to the Orinoco outlet, which is just the other side of Trinidad, means that nutrients from South America come up, engulfing the islands, engulfing Tobago, feeding the coral systems that we have, which means that we are blessed with stunning, stunning coral systems. Yeah, if you have anybody, I remember I pointed out that northern part of the island where we have some fantastic array of dive sites. If you have anyone at all interested in the diving world, then Tobago is a fantastic option for them. We actually have, just to back up, just to follow up what I've just said with regards to the coral systems and the rich, nutrient-rich waters we have, right here, okay, this is an image of the largest recorded brain coral in the world, okay? And that is specifically because of the nutrient-rich waters, okay? So yes, you know, anyone interested in the diving world, then Tobago is definitely a diving option for them. And I shall continue. And then, of course, I mentioned our rainforest. Tobago, across the core spine of the island, is the UNESCO listed Main Ridge Forest Reserve, the oldest protected rainforest in the Western Hemisphere, all right, since 1776. That's a long while ago. Yeah? So what that basically means is in that rainforest, there is no development allowed. Yeah, they're not allowed to clear any land. They're not allowed to do any sort of development in the core of the rainforest. All right, Tobago is actually trying to apply and extend the UNESCO listing to Manobiosphere, which will incorporate a lot of the diving elements in that northern part of Tobago, as well as the main core of the rainforest. All right, so these are elements that Tobago are focusing on because we know and we are aware that the rainforest and the natural side of Tobago is our key selling point. Okay, or one of our major key selling points. But if people want a little bit more hard adventure, we have 4x4s, we have mountain bikes. There's actually a cycle race, coast to coast cycle race every year. There's a marathon on the island for those who have a bit of energy and have that sort of strength. So yes, if people want to do something a little bit more physical and a little bit more demanding, then that is possible in Tobago as well. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. The video that's flowing through here again is just a short a clip of again of a fan trip that I took a couple of years ago, and it just shows you that even going through the rainforest, there are a number of trails going through the rainforest, and they are easily accessible. You're not cutting through with a machete. So yes, very, very beautiful. And one thing I'd always advise people, if they do visit Tobago and they do have an experience going through the rainforest, is always go with a guide, because the guide will point out, as you can see, they're stopping here and he's explaining things that we would have literally just walked straight past. Incredibly intelligent and incredibly informative, and yes, a beautiful, wonderful experience. Okay. And now we move on to the second reason why our location is incredibly blessed. Okay, we have on our island over 230 different species of nesting birds. We have approximately 30 to 40 different species of birds that visit on an annual basis. We are blessed with six different species of hummingbird alone. So for our small little island, remember I pointed out, it's only 25 by 7 at its widest point. We're not humongously large. But in effect, because of the number of bird species, we are regarded as one of the highest bird per capita locations in the world. And this is primarily because of our location so close to South America. There's one particular species of hummingbird, white-tailed sablewing, which is only found in Tobago and in Venezuela next door to us. It's not even found in Trinidad. So that just goes to show you how important and how fascinating with regards to bird life we are, okay? And our location is such a special location. You don't have to be interested in bird watching to find these birds fascinating. This image in the little video there is from one of these bird feeding houses. Remember I told you there's lots of places around the island where you can go and see some gorgeous, colourful, vibrantly colourful birds. And these are predominantly rainforest dwelling birds, but these feeders do draw them and attract them to the surrounding areas of the rainforest, so that you can see them, you can take pictures, you can take video shots of them. Incredibly beautiful. All right, so yes, we're very lucky, we're very fortunate, and this is one of the little gems that you can have when visiting Tobago. Okay, away from the nature side, the water side, another element is the cultural side. Now, I mean, I don't have time to go through all the different festivals and all the different carnivals available, but we have an abundance of festivals that run literally throughout the year, from the Heritage Festival, as you can see, the Heritage dances, to something which is a beautiful experience called the Old Time Wedding Parade, where you have hundreds of couples dressed in. There is a story that goes behind it, which obviously I don't have time to go into, but there's a parade of hundreds of couples in these wedding garbs, traveling from village to village on a particular weekend in Tobago. Incredibly beautiful, lovely, and of course a jazz experience. Just like a number of the other islands, we have our own jazz festival. And then, I mean, all of these things are beautiful and colourful. And then we have the really unusual thing, which is the goat race, the goat and crab race festival, which happens over Easter. So yes, very peculiar. Yes, those are goats. The guys running next to them are the jockeys. And the people take this very serious every year, and this is proving so popular now that they're expanding it to have different festivals throughout the whole year, not just for Easter. But historically, this has been an Easter experience and an Easter festival. And no, another question people often ask is, where are the crabs? Do the crabs race the goats? No, the crabs have their own separate race. I kind of thought that'd be usual, but those are the sort of questions I normally get asked. But so yes, very colourful, very vibrant, very different. There are a number of festivals, but and one of the PDFs that you guys will have access to will list the number of festivals and activities that visitors can experience in Tobago. And then, yes, I'm coming close to the end. It's just key little things that people might not be aware of with regards to Tobago. Okay, now some of these do relate to Trinidad and Tobago, so the home of soca and calypso music, steel pans and limbo dance. That is really the country of Trinidad and Tobago, as opposed to specifically just the island of Tobago. But I'm not sure if you guys were all aware that all of those elements were invented, were first produced, were first created in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so those are the little things that the people from the islands are very, very proud of, and are always happy to share with people who are visiting. And then, of course, if this was a face-to-face presentation, so if you do get the opportunity to see me in the future, what I will have is some tasters of our gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous chocolate. This is award-winning organic chocolate, organically produced. We have our own cocoa estates, which again bridges the rainforests, so very, very lush, very, very green, and contributing to the island's green nature. Yes, some fantastic organic Tobago chocolate. And that, I believe, is it. So yes, hopefully all of that will give you an idea of the essence of what Tobago has to offer. In effect, it is a green, it is a lush island, it is very safe, it's very easy for people to travel around. So yes, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put this, I'm going to keep my voice at rest. I'm going to just put this video on, which it lasts about 3.5 minutes. It's a brand new video that we only had created by, in conjunction with Nat Geo, the end of last year. And you'll hear from people who are local to the island here. So yes, I shall start with this, and then after that we shall move on to some questions and queries.
Can't see the video, Stephen.
Sorry?
Can't see the video.
Only when I go abroad and I see what is out there and I come back and I measure against what is here. There is no comparison to beauty.
Some writings about history, it is said that Christopher Columbus called it Bella Fauna, meaning beautifully formed.
Natural, beautiful, peaceful. Yes, I get emotional. That's why I'm here.
One of the fascinating things about nature, there's always something new, and especially in the tropics where there's such wide diversity, persons can experience and have the awe associated with some of the beaches we have, aquatic life we have, some of the fascinating birds we have within a day, within a short period of time.
You have the Caribbean Sea on one side, you have the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. On our doorstep, a fringe reef that wraps around the entire area. You have this huge amount of biodiversity and liveliness of the entire water that surrounds the island. We also do bioluminescent nighttime tours, which are like an escape into the deep, dark secrets of this, glowing phenomenon. It's like this almost cosmic effect. It's just something to be seen.
I know everybody in the village, and everybody know me. That is the nice thing about here.
Tobago is used to the extended family. There was always a grandmother, aunt, uncle. There was always love.
We eat and we drink, we laugh, and everything together.
Tobago, in one word, to me, beautiful. Beautiful place to live. It gives me great pleasure to be in Tobago and do what I do.
The sunsets here are hardly bar none, some of the nicest I've seen.
I would describe Tobago of one of the clean, serene, and the best place that anyone could come. Be easy, be happy, and have a good time. There is nothing to compare to.
This little dot called Tobago exists, and come visit.
Oops, we won't start it again. Well, there you have it. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any other questions or anything else that you want to keep more direct, you have my email address there at the very bottom. We have our online training here, and we also have a rewards program here. So any bookings that you have, you register the bookings, and currently, right this very moment, we have an incentive for where we are giving the first 101 agents to do a booking to Tobago will earn £50. This is on this is program, so it's all board and easily accessible. But obviously, if you want more information about that, you can Sarah can assist you with more information, or again, you can send me an email at the email below. And I do believe that is that.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions, and also I've got Sarah and Michael that have both requested to talk. And I don't know if you had a question that you wanted to ask. If you do, Sarah, you go ahead now, or Michael. If not, you might have just put your hand up just to wave to me by accident.
Yeah, just by accident.
Hi, I'm waving back. Okay, no problem. And we have got a couple of other questions as well that have been popping up. Mark has just asked everybody what board bases are most commonly offered in the hotels.
There are a couple of hotels that will offer you an all-inclusive basis. Again, as I was pointing out before, that they are predominantly down in that southern western tip where the majority of the hotels are. But the majority of hotels on the island will be on a B&B or half-board basis. Principally because dining out in Tobago is not expensive. It's very, very easy. It's not, it's quite reasonable priced, and it's very, very easy, and it's very much encouraged. So yeah, there's a couple of hotels off the top of my head, places like the Tropicist, I believe the Grafton Beach, Magdalena has an all-inclusive basis. So there's a few that offer the all-inclusive basis, but we're not really a big all-inclusive destination.
Okay, perfect. And Andrew's asked, is Gemma's Treehouse restaurant still there opposite Goat Island?
Gemma's Treehouse is still there. Goat Island is still there, as is Little Tobago. Yeah, all these. So obviously, Andrew's been there and enjoyed the delights. Gemma's Treehouse is just a small little restaurant in a small little village in that northwestern tip of the island, and the fantastic thing that they do is just local food. Reasonably priced local food with a fantastic view. So whenever I do fam trips, but predominantly most of the time we stay in that southern western area because we have the ability to take the agents out for meals a lot more in that southern western area. So when we visit the north of the island, we will normally stop at Gemma's for lunch. So so that's how